What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. I wanted to do a quick experiment today testing out whether or not you can use this DJI Mic 2 to record audio on your drone. Now guys, this is a little bit heavy, it's this many grams, but I've got my Flywoo Explorer today, my LR404 Pro, and I'm not really freestyling that thing, so I don't know if I'm gonna notice this extra weight. I know people fly Lion packs on that thing that are way heavier than the LiPo, so let's put this on there and see what it sounds like, because I think we might be surprised. So the interesting thing about this, guys, is it records onboard audio, so you could literally just hit record on this, and let's go from there. Okay, Future Sauna here, just wanna touch on the onboard audio thing because it's really important. So there are definitely smaller mics than this. The problem, they need a receiver and a transmitter that either connect to your phone or your camera or something. So there's a range limit, and as soon as you break line of sight with one of those mics, you're pretty much f***ed. So onboard audio is like essential, and we're gonna test this out. All right, guys, so this is just a little live reaction as I'm watching this back right now for the first time, and I am like blown away by this. I didn't even know if it was really gonna work. This mic has some like noise canceling features, even though I turned those off, and it was super windy, so I didn't have the little wind sock on there that looks like this. So it was just literally this. I mean, this is what it looks like. I'll put it up on the screen right now, but I am blown away. This is so much more immersive watching this with the motor and prop sounds. It was insanely windy today. It was like 15 knots this morning, and usually it's not windy at all in the morning. So I was taking it really slow. Also, I didn't have this fastened on like properly. I just literally clipped it on. So this is my only mic that I use for everything, and I'm unemployed right now, so I can't afford to lose this thing, so I really did not want to crash this. Even though this is like just a cruiser, I was taking it extra slow, cruisy vibes. But shit, this is so cool. I definitely want to do more experiments with potentially smaller mics and maybe even try to use the transmitters, because as you can see, I'm mostly flying line of sight here. Just going behind some flags and stuff. Yeah, so I also did a couple flights after this without the mic, and it did feel noticeably lighter, easier to rip around, but if you're just exploring, totally fine in my opinion, especially if you use a bigger quad, like a 5-inch, proper 5-inch, maybe you use like a slightly smaller battery, and then the mic, like that's perfect. Even my Flyfish Volador, which is kind of in the shop right now, this thing feels a little bit floaty on 650, so imagine I put the DJI mic on here to give it an extra 28 grams or however many grams it was, might actually make this thing feel a little bit more tame and easier to fly. So I love this. I wish there were lighter and cheaper options, and there are other options, but they're probably not going to be cheaper. Let's talk about some of those now. All right guys, so alternatives. If you don't know Oscar Liang, I don't know if I'm saying his last name correctly, this guy has an amazing FPV blog. Here, we'll go to the homepage here. He does reviews, write-ups, ton of different type of videos on FPV. A lot of it is geared at beginners, but a lot of it is for like experts too. So this is an amazing resource. Highly recommend just bookmarking this, and subscribe to this guy's YouTube too. He's the GOAT. Okay, so let's go back to that microphone thing. So this article features some really cheap options for getting audio into your DVR feed. Spoiler, this is for analog. And sadly, there are no options to configure like a third-party mic that will bake the audio into your 04 Pro footage. So that's why I'm using an external mic with onboard recording. I did see this website mention a really expensive, tiny and lightweight mic. I cannot find it for the life of me. I literally just searched for 20 minutes and I can't find it. So I think that the DJI Mic 3, let's check out how light that is. 16G with magnet. Yo, how much does the magnet weigh? I'm gonna guess couple grams at least. We might be getting close to 10 grams, which would be incredible because this thing also has onboard recording, I believe. We're going to assume that it does because this is like the Pro mic, not the Mic Mini. So this might be a good option if you're fucking rich and want audio and you don't use an action cam, because I fly sub 250 and I have no desire to put an action cam on. So I don't know. I was just looking for my microphone to record this section, and then I realized it's still strapped to this baby. Let's take her off. So I wanted to just quickly talk about why it's nice to have audio on your drone. Well, especially for a drone like this with an air unit and no action cam. Obviously, like I said, these don't record onboard, they don't bake in any audio, so it's really nice. It makes the video more immersive. I was super impressed when watching that. I mean, that video sucks, like it's just a boring flight, but with the audio, at least it sounds kind of cool, and there's like that novel factor for me because I don't record audio with my flights. Now, even more of a reason to have audio on your FPV drones for me would be to actually hear the audio while I'm flying. So I would love to be able to like plug even just one earpiece into the goggles and hear the motor and prop sounds while I'm flying. This is something that really messed me up when I first went to the field and flew my first drone, because I had simmed for like 20 plus hours, and in the sim you have the prop noises and they never like get far away from you, you know what I mean? Like you're in the drone on the sim, so the noise is always consistent. And when I went to the field and flew, you know, more than 20 feet away from me, I couldn't hear it on the whoop. And that really messed with my head. Like I didn't know how much power I was applying because I had equated, you know, power to an increase in sound. I eventually sort of got used to this, but I do still prefer flying at least somewhat close proximity to myself because I can actually hear the motors even if I'm, you know, going over a tree or, you know, 50 yards this way. With the bigger quads, it's a little bit easier. But if I could hear that audio while I'm flying, I feel like it would make me way more locked in. I think a lot of pilots would agree with this. Let me know what you think. Do you fly with audio? If you fly maybe analog, or have you come up with some crazy solution? I want to know because, wait, now I'm actually thinking this Hollyland mic is like super tiny and also has Bluetooth live 2.4 gigahertz, not Bluetooth. It has 2.4 gigahertz audio monitoring wirelessly for like, this is for filming on like film sets or small, you know, micro film sets. That could work with this. Oh shit. Okay, we might have to revisit this and maybe we can get some funding to buy those eventually. But like I said, I'm unemployed right now, so don't get your hopes up for this. But yeah, I do still want to know, what are your thoughts on flying with and without audio? If you started simming and then bought a quad and like realized this in real time, I want to hear your experience. I actually now sim with no sound because I think it really helps translate to that real life experience. Like imagine you sim with like the 4K monitor and then you go to analog and there's no sound. It's like, dude, that would be mind blowing. So I don't know. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Make sure you're subscribed if you want to see more videos like this or freestyle edits or whatever I feel like making that day. I'm trying to grow this page, so hopefully you want to be along for the journey. Please leave a comment saying literally anything. Love reading them so much. They fuel me on this YouTube journey. So drop your comments down below, hit the like button. See you in the next one. Peace.